This is Rose Emilien Guillot, and I will warn you, the colors don't really look true on camera because this rose has a glow quality to it. It really looks glowy in real life as well, but especially on camera, it looks neon. It reflects light, so cameras do actually have some issues in capturing its true color. I tried with the phone as well. It's not working out, but it is a stunning rose. When it first opens, it has more of an orangey shade to it, and the outer petals are more of a pinky or magenta shade. And as the flowers age, they do turn a little bit more magenta. They still have the glowy quality to them. And when the flowers actually age in the garden, you will see it just glow. It's absolutely magnificent, actually. I don't think I have another rose that does this. But this was such a surprise. From the photos, I knew it was great, but because it doesn't photograph well, it was still a surprise. It is also quite fragrant, since these are the first flowers, and also because it's so low to the ground, it's a new rose. I will not discuss the fragrance way too much right now. It has a pleasant fragrance, pretty typical of what you would expect from a rose. I think a little bit sweet. It smells wonderful, but it's hard to smell now, and it's also, the first blooms, it doesn't put out the full capacity. I will also say that people say this rose doesn't repeat very well. I don't know if I have any side shoots at this point. I don't know what to tell you about that, but as the rose ages, I will be able to comment more on that. Currently, this one is growing in the front garden, no shade whatsoever. It's receiving sunlight as long as the day is long, and it's dealing with it pretty well, as you can see. Quite a robust new cane here, I see. So we'll see how tall this rose will eventually grow, but for now I am so incredibly happy with the flowers. Emilien Guillot, such a surprise, not a very common rose I see, but I think it should be. I think, as I was saying, this rose will glow in your garden, and I'm very happy with it so far. It grew very well. I got it I planted it in February, so I think it did very well, and I'm pretty happy with the first flush. It's a hybrid tea. As you can see, we only have one rose per stem for now. Oh, actually, no, it's just one rose per stem for now, so we'll see if that changes. But yeah, typical hybrid tea, but the color is absolutely fantastic, and the petal count is pretty great, as you can see. This is the Ancient Mariner from David Austin. These are the first blooms, and I'll have to say they scorched a little bit in the sun, and then they didn't really like the fact that it rained these days. We had a little bit of an up and down type of weather, so the flowers don't really look their best, but I think you can appreciate that they are those type of flowers that have a lighter outer edge and then a more intense color in the middle. Looks a little bit like a peony. I absolutely adore this shape of a rose, and the color is absolutely fantastic. I love anything that has to do with white and a color contrast. Now, this rose is kind of tiny to the ground, and again, it's hard to smell. It does have a fragrance. This rose is actually known for its fragrance. For now, though, it doesn't put out much of a fragrance for me, I will have to say. But again, these are just the first flowers, and the rose is very young, so I need to actually give it maybe 1 year or so before I can tell you more about the fragrance. There are some roses in my garden that put out already incredible fragrance, and we'll get to one at some point in one of these videos, but this is not one of them. So for me, the fragrance is not a main attraction at this point, but seeing this rose from a distance and the contrast is absolutely fantastic. Now, foliage wise and everything, it's a David Austin. It doesn't have that strength and shine that maybe a Cordes rose would have, but it does handle sun very well. It sits next to Emilien Guillot, and I don't see any scorching. The flowers, a little bit crispiness here and there, it's absolutely normal, but I don't see anything on the foliage, and we did have 35 degrees Celsius these days. It's been pretty hot. We've been going through a heat wave, and things are still looking very great. So this one actually grew pretty fast. I think I got it in my second order in March, so I'm pretty happy with how everything is going so far, and I absolutely adore the flowers. And when they first open, the buds, they look so nice. I really love this high petal count type of a peony shape to flowers. And this one, so far, color-wise and everything, looks absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait for its fragrance to develop more. This is Rose Boscobel, and the flowers, I'm sorry I didn't catch them necessarily in their prime. They opened yesterday, but it's super hot these days. They got a little bit crispy. However, this rose is my absolute favorite fragrant rose in my garden at the moment. And these are just the first flowers. And I don't think the weather is necessarily perfect for smelling this rose, but when I tell you this guy smells like a perfume, it does not smell like a flower. It's like anything I've ever smelled, and I cannot even describe it. I'm lost for words. My goodness, it's sweet. Okay, I will say it's sweet, but that's pretty much all that I can say. Anything else, I don't know. It's like a divine perfume that you would put on your body, pretty much. It's amazing. Now, this particular rose I got in February, but it took a while to get established and to leaf out. I thought it was sick, but no, it was just a little bit late. And because of that, because the leaves are a little fresh, it kind of burnt a little bit in the sun, which will happen during the summer. Here, roses actually are dormant in the summer, but compared to other roses, it doesn't seem to perform as best in the heat or as good, but it's still okay. I'm expecting worse, but it's still fine. You can just see that the new growth is a little bit weaker than on many other roses that I got at the same time. But I really hope he's gonna do well this summer because, as I was saying, he's my favorite fragrance-wise, and I've never ever smelled anything like it. And yeah, when we do the actual spotlights at this point, maybe in autumn, I can tell you more about how it smells and how it performed during the summer. I don't know, maybe next spring we're gonna do proper spotlights because they're gonna be more established. For now though, the flowers are beautiful. They lost a little bit of color. They were a little bit more warm toned when they opened, but when I tell you that the smell is unlike anything I've ever smelled, it's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I have this rose, and I'm hoping it's gonna do well. If it's gonna die during the summer, I'm gonna order 3 more, put them in some pots, and grow it like that. I don't care. This has to be in my life. And if you love fragrant roses, this has to be in your life as well. It's a David Austin rose. It's a very, very iconic, and I just learned why. It's the fragrance. This is Rose Rumba, and I'm showing this to you as it just starts to open, but I will insert footage of how these flowers look like when they age a little bit. This is a color changing type of rose that I absolutely adore. It has very tiny flowers, but it does bloom in clusters. And as you can see, it is also a very tiny rose, but it's not supposed to stay tiny as far as I can see from the internet. It's supposed to grow like a normal rose, over 1 meter high. So I'm really looking forward to having a bush here that is full of tiny little flowers, all differently colored. Now, this rose is supposed to also be fragrant. It's supposed to have a spicy fragrance, but I can tell you I detected nothing in its first flush. This is actually its second flush. It looks very, very nice for its second flush as well, but I don't know if it's really fragrant. We'll have to see when it matures a little bit. But the main attraction of this rose is the way the flowers change color. The first row of petals you can see here already are starting to change to a orange color, and they will continue to intensify row after row until the flowers will be completely orange and a wonderful glowy orange as well. And basically that is the whole appeal. Now, I found this rose locally. It was in very poor condition, hence, the size of it was just kind of 2 thin sticks and no roots when I purchased it. They're rooted in January. It took a long time to start to leaf out and do well, but it's going now, and I decided to plant it in the ground because I think it's absolutely worth it. It's not a very common rose. I don't see it on YouTube or anywhere very commonly. I think it's from Poulsen, which is a European nursery. So in the US, I'm not sure if it's very available, but it is very beautiful. I love color changing roses, and I think it deserves a spot in my garden since it's not all that common either. So it's gonna be a nice spotlight.